We shared a common ancestor with fungi either about 650 million years ago to about 1 billion years ago. So it's a long time ago. Your greatest grandmother was fungi, arguably, but we're closer related to fungi than we are to plants. So what's really cool is that they fight the same things we fight. But the difference is that they are considered the grand chemists of nature. So they're like a janitor with an infinite key ring, and given enough resources, time, they can unlock almost any door by creating unique compounds, which are considered secondary metabolites in science, which just basically means we have no idea what it means.
Welcome to Robertson Stash. Season 5 is brought to you by WNC CBD. Empowered by Puffco. What's up, everybody? I'm super excited to be sitting down today with Shane and Juliet from Mycolove Farms today. I'm really excited about this episode to learn about all the health benefits for functional mushrooms.
Absolutely.
So thank you guys for coming in.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
So can you tell us a little bit about Myco Farms? Like, when did it get started? And you're a co-founding member?
Yes. One of the co-founders and currently CEO.
Cool.
Or CWO, so the Chief Wizard Officer.
Wizard? I love that.
Not a big fan of titles, but just unpacking.
But when you're called a wizard, man, you got to put that on your business card.
Exactly. So Mycolove Farm was founded basically at the end of 2021.
Okay.
Between 4 individuals. One, people have heard a lot about, Jake Plummer.
Yeah.
One of the former quarterbacks for the Denver
That's so
Broncos.
Cool.
Yeah. Michael Heim, myself, and Leo. So we're all exploring the fungal queendom one way or another. So we all have like prior history. So I was doing basically the same thing Mycolove Farms is doing now for the last 10 years.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So which was this vertical integration piece where just cultivating, extracting, and just creating high quality medicine for people, therapeutic products.
Did you go to school to learn how to do that, or
no? I actually didn't learn a thing about mycology during my undergrad.
Yeah.
So my degree is in ecology and evolutionary biology.
Okay.
So science in the ecological world, for sure.
Yeah.
And I guess what my degree really helped me out understand was unpacking complex puzzles. So the world of fungi is a complex puzzle. So one thing that I learned very early with this space is that one of my favorite quotes is, "We know what we know. Sometimes we can identify what we don't know, but ultimately we don't know what we don't know," which is infinite.
Yeah.
And that's basically where we are with the fungal queendom, is that we are just barely scratching the surface.
Why is it called a queendom?
That's just my
okay.
reference.
So it's a kingdom, like queendom. Okay.
Yeah. Just trying to level the playing field a little bit.
Yeah, we need more queendoms out there.
Yeah,
exactly. For sure.
So you went to school for something like the biology, and then when did you start getting interested in fungi?
Fungi, yeah. So it was about 2015, 2016. I did a research project at CU during my undergrad looking at antibiotic-resistant bacteria in waterways, and looking at just the local waterways like Boulder Creek. You have the Pooter up by Fort Collins. I was a whitewater raft guide for like 6 years. Yeah. And so I had a personal tie with just the world of biodiversity and conservation work here in Colorado. And then identifying antibiotic-resistant bacteria in waterways just kind of blew my mind that it's literally everywhere. And then I found a applied mycology research paper at the time that was looking at using mycelium as a filtration system. So you take water and you can filter it using living mycelial mats.
Really?
Basically. Just like growing something like oysters or whatever fungi that you're looking at the time. You can grow them on straw, and you can put them in sort of a straw bale or like a, burlap or something like that. And you can literally use it as a filtration technique to clean up waterways for various different things.
How does the water just runs through?
Exactly. Just like a carbon filter, basically. Wow. Yeah. So it's able to do all sorts of stuff. And again, we don't know what we don't know. So who knows what all the applications could be, but it's very promising at the time. And that sort of just opened the doorway of curiosity for me. It's
such a new field too, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah. So when was science and like the universities all starting to look into this?
So I think about it in 2 different pathways. You have the academic route, which is the world of fungi is considered a neglected mega science. So there's just a lot to unpack, and academic is just behind times, honestly, with that. And then you have this community science or citizen science pathway. So that's, I think you might tie into that a little bit too with your artistry and creativity. You get this sort of spark of the obsession, if you will, that just drives your passion, and you just can't get enough of it. And these individuals are all over the place. And a lot of the really interesting tidbits of the fungal queendom that are being unpacked now are outside of academic routes. A lot of them are just everyday people that are very passionate. A lot of times they're just lacking the tools or resources or technology, but when they have access to those, they're able to make big impacts in our space.
That's really cool. So there's real passion for that out there.
Yeah.
And are people just kind of experimenting on their own and kind of seeing what effects they have? And
yeah, I mean,
because there's really no books to get this information from or websites, I guess. Some of them,
sometimes.
Probably.
Yeah, sometimes. And there's unfortunately either a paywall and you can't really get over that. But a lot of the information you can find on the interwebs. So through forums, Reddit is a great resources. I remember perusing Shroomery. It's a message board for just really passionate, dedicated individuals in this space. But you can break the world of fungi into, if you did it very easily, into either food, medicine, technology, which could be like applied mycology with your like mycoremediation or mycomaterials, which a lot of people are unpacking right now, whether it's for like building materials or it could be like myco leathers.
Really?
Yeah.
So how do they make that stuff?
Yes.
Like, do they grow the mushroom and process it somehow?
Yeah. So it depends on what you're actually trying to do. But a lot of people, what they'll do is create a mold, like just some sort of outfitting thing, a framework, and just pack it full of the food that fungi eat and the fungi itself. And it just grows into that sort of shape.
And then it's durable? Like, is it?
Yeah.
What
people have made like blocks for building like walls.
Really?
Stuff with it. Yeah, it's like a whole thing.
That's interesting. And it just grows into the form and it's hard. And
yeah. So
cut it down and it stays like that forever?
Well, maybe not forever, but right, for a long time. Yeah. There's a lot of really cool research that's being done in all over the world, honestly, where they're taking byproduct from agriculture and then they're growing fungi on it into molds to be myco bricks or just mycomaterials in general. Yeah. There's definitely a lot more that can be unpacked in that space. So I think it's sort of a new field for sure.
Does it grow relatively quick in the molds?
It depends on the fungi. So this is a Ganoderma multipyleum, which is antler reishi. It looks like
antlers. Yeah.
Antlers. Yeah. So that's its common name. But the bottom here is its substrate, right? It's the food it grows on. Okay. So fungi have a wide palette. They can generally grow on like hardwoods or just compost materials, which could be literally almost anything that's a lignin-containing material. So the rate of growth and the species and the environmental aspect depends on how fast it'll grow. But for us growing wood lovers like reishi here, we grow it on something we call master's mix, which is just a mix of oak and soy holes. And it can make about a 10-pound brick, if you will, or 5 or 10-pound brick in maybe 10 to 14 days.
Wow. So it's a solid brick?
Yeah, because so fungi are a lot like humans in that we're actually very closely related to fungi.
Yeah, I heard that. Like 50% we share their DNA or something? Or
I don't know the percent of genetic makeup material, but we shared a common ancestor with fungi either about 650 million years ago to about 1 billion years ago. So it's a long time ago. Your greatest grandmother was fungi, arguably, but we're closer related to fungi than we are to plants. So what's really cool is that they fight the same things we fight. But the difference is that they are considered the grand chemists of nature. So they're like a janitor with an infinite key ring, and given enough resources, time, they can unlock almost any door by creating unique compounds, which are considered secondary metabolites in science, which just basically means we have no idea what it means. But it's not for it to survive. Like a survival compound would be like our stomach enzymes. Yeah. These are produced like THC is considered a secondary metabolite in science. It's not for the survivor of the organism, but it produces it for some reason. But they have the ability to produce really interesting chemistry. And that chemistry can be applied in various different ways. And what's really interesting is that we fight the same viruses, the same bacteria that they fight. Really? But they can produce compounds to fight it, actually. We just consume it and we get that benefit.
Wow, that's interesting. So do different mushrooms have different compounds and stuff?
Yes.
And
Absolutely.
how are people going through and like figuring out which compounds are in each mushroom? Is it?
It's a lot of work for sure. And
Do
again,
they,
we're
like, infrared testing. Have you heard?
IR there's different analytical equipment that can be used for compound discovery for sure. NMDR, or I can't remember. There's one of them that's used. But basically, you have to grow it. You have to get a sample of it, and then you have to use analytical chemistry equipment to break it down to its compound parts, its metabolomic profile, if you will, the metabolites that it produces. But a lot of that work is behind paywalls that you really can't access. And it's still growing. So lion's mane is a good example. 10 years ago when I was digging into lion's mane, I think at the time maybe 50 compounds had been identified. But
Lion's mane?
In lion's mane itself. Okay. And then today, I think a 2023 research review, that number is 102.
Wow.
Yeah. And then reishi is a complex molecular powerhouse. It can create up to 400 or 500 unique compounds.
Create? Like it? What do you mean create? Like it sometimes it doesn't have that many, and then
it depends on its environment, exposure to things. There's just a lot to unpack for sure. But there could be a future where you could go to a clinic and they can take a mouth swab of whatever infection that you have, put it on a petri dish, grow a fungi on that dish, and it arguably could create a compound to fight that.
Wow.
And then we could mass produce that compound, give it to you, and then you'd have a nutraceutical
medicine
for you.
That is cool.
Yeah.
Wow. So what do you do with these ones? Like, do you eat them like this, or do you?
You can't eat them like that.
Okay. Why not?
Well, Shane might be better at answering this, but it just has a really thick cell wall, and your body can't really.
Is this one of these?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yep. Same thing.
Cool. Okay. Yeah. So your body can't digest these.
Yeah. So fungi, as diverse as they are, I think today it's an argument that the amount of species that exist potentially on planet Earth could number into the 5 or 10 million species
of mushrooms,
of fungi.
Okay.
Yeah, that they're not all fruit forming fungi though. There's some that don't produce mushrooms. But the estimated could be upwards of 5 or 10 million unique species on the planet.
Are they finding new ones all the
time? Yeah. So like arguably if you went out here on the Front Range and you found 100 unique specimens, you arguably could find a new species that has not been identified. Yeah.
Wow. Do you guys go mushroom hunting sometimes? Fungi?
When there's time. Yeah. We try.
That sounds cool.
Yeah. We will be, in a couple of weeks, we'll be up in Telluride.
Oh, really?
I don't know if you've heard of the Telluride Mushroom Festival.
I think I have.
It's huge.
Yeah. So this will be the 45th annual.
Wow.
So it's going to be a big one. So if anybody's interested in checking out a unique experience in itself, it's probably one of the most popular mushroom festivals in North America.
I've seen like everyone dresses up like mushrooms. And
Yep. There's the parade.
Is it like a psychedelic side too? Or is it like functional? It's kind of mixed of everything.
Everything.
Anything to do with fungi?
Yeah.
Fungi.
Anything fungi. Yeah. It's just a celebration of fungi.
Okay. So it's fungi for sure. Not fungi.
I say fungi. Some people call fungi.
Say both. Yeah.
Fungi or fungi. Okay. Wow. So what is your background a little bit?
Honestly, I just have always been curious and fascinated by mushrooms. I started going to school for horticulture, so plants and stuff like that. And I found Mycolove through that. And I just thought that it was different and fun. And I liked the mission of Mycolove and wanting to educate and create a quality therapeutic product for people.
Passion.
I've been there for like 3 years now. I do all the social content stuff and for Instagram, TikTok, all that. But I kind of wear many hats there as well. So it's fun to be a part of something that's, I don't know.
Are you like involved in the processing of it too?
Yeah, for sure. Well, we have the farm and we have a lab space where we do the extraction. So, I do anything from like harvesting to actually bottling up the product and stuff like that.
That's cool. So what is the process like? So you grow a certain type of fungi, and And when you harvest it, what do you do? Can you explain that?
Yeah, so Mycolove Farm is a vertically integrated mushroom company. So that's one major reason I wanted to get into this space was transparency. 10 years ago, I read a lot of research on lion's mane and its nootropic capabilities. And I was taking these capsules and I couldn't really attribute any gains to it. And I was like, I read the research and it's there, but I'm not noticing anything. So I'm a conscious consumer. I read the label. I do background the best that I can, and I couldn't answer very simple things. So Mycolove is a attempted solution at the transparency piece of what's going on here with all things fungi, honestly. But yeah, so we will go out to the wild or source the fungi one way or another. So we focus on 4 specific cultivars, species. So we do reishi, and then in the genetic sense, there's many reishi species. Same thing with lion's mane. There's multiple lion's mane species or phenotypes, which we can unpack as well. There's not just the lion's mane.
So they have separate name, like lion's mane. What would one be? Well, like how do you separate it?
Yeah. So you can do genetically, you can have a difference of species. Okay. So Ganoderma multiphyleum and antler reishi is one species. And then you have Ganoderma polychromum, which is a different species, and they look different. And they're genetically, they would come back as different species. But the complexity is for something like lion's mane. So that's the common name, and you have your Latin name, right? So cannabis sativa is the Latin name for cannabis. But within cannabis sativa, you have all these variants or strains or phenotypes. They express differently. Same thing goes on with a lot of the fungi as well. So you have lion's mane. Its Latin binomial is Eraceum erinaceus. And then within that, you have different strains and phenotypes. Wow. And that isn't really mapped out. And that's one of the missions that we're focused on right now is we've collected, I think, 12 or 14 Eraceum erinaceus phenotypes. And they all grow slightly
Can you say that word too?
Eraceum erinaceus.
Wow. I got to start taking these so I can say words like that.
Yeah, you'll remember with the lion's
That's true. But yeah, we're just exploring different genetics in the space. We don't know exactly. We've gone out and collected our own specimens here in Colorado even. We have a Coralloides, which grows. We got one up in Telluride. We have a California. We have a Pacific Northwest variety. And then there's the tried and true cultivars that a lot of people grow that are well known for gourmet reasons. They just big yield or flavor profile stuff.
Can you crossbreed some of these in your lab? Or?
Yeah, absolutely. There is not a whole lot of breeding programs in functionals. There is in the psychedelic space for sure.
Okay.
That's definitely also an interest of ours is to try to understand the metabolomic profiles of each of these variants. So that's the metabolites they produce. Out of the 102 compounds that have been identified, we want to know how many are produced each strain, and if there are better producers than others, and we could then cross those and breed those to have superior metabolomic producers of nootropic compounds, basically. Wow. But yeah, there's not a whole lot of breeding that's going on today, but I think it's something that's going to be happening in the next few years for sure.
Interesting.
But, sorry to get off on the tangent, but yeah, to circle back to the vertical integration piece, we'll grow the fungi at a farm. With our team in Fort Lupton. So shout out to the farm team.
Yeah, shout out. Team.
Nice. But yeah, they handle all the cultivation of everything. But once it's cultivated, it depends on what it is. But a specimen like this could take 180 days or more.
To grow?
Oh,
yeah. Wow.
And they're chemically, they're made up of a material, a biopolymer. It's sort of like nature's plastic called chitin. And that's why it's like Y extract. So different fungi species are made up of different percentages of chitin. So chitin is what crabs are made of, or insect exoskeletons.
The shells?
Yep.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so it's insoluble. It's not really digestible by the human gut. And that's why you generally want to process it a very specific way. And then how it's grown, it also depends. So the longer timeframes for cultivars like this will have higher amounts of chitin. So they take a long time to grow. And then lion's mane can take up to 10 to 14 days to produce an actual mushroom.
Really?
Yeah, it's a lot faster. Yeah.
And can you eat lion's mane?
Yeah.
Just raw?
Yes.
Yeah. You generally don't want to, but yeah.
It's not.
You can, we can probably break fungi into, let's say, 3 categories. You can have gourmet.
Okay.
You can have medicinal. And that medicinal can be broken into functional or psychedelic.
Okay.
We like to, this terminology, functional mushrooms. We started using this term a lot recently to differentiate ourselves from the psychedelic world. Because all fungi are magic, honestly, at the end of the day. And we focus on some that aren't psychoactive, but they have tons of benefits and they can do tons of things. But yeah, so the farm will cultivate the fungi, we'll harvest it, and then we have to process it. So we'll dehydrate it. Some fungi can be upwards of 90% water.
Really?
Yeah.
How long is that process to dehydrate?
24, 48 hours,
really?
Depending on temperature. We try to do low and long to try to preserve the chemical compounds of the fungi the most that we can. Some people are even freeze drying it to superior products for sure. But once it's dehydrated and you remove all the water, it's ready for extraction. And then our lab, which is in Longmont, Mycolove Lab. So shout out to the lab.
Shout out.
Shout out.
And then we'll extract the fungi, and not all extracts are created equal. So that's another transparency piece. We like to educate on 3 major questions. Do you remember the questions?
Where are your mushrooms coming from? Has it been extracted? And
what part
of the fungus is being used? So not all people will use this like fruiting body here. They'll use maybe this bottom block part, the mycelium.
Really?
And from what we know currently, the research that's out there, like the fruiting body has the superior compounds that are producing these benefits that people are looking for. So,
so some companies will use this part and just say they have it in it.
They use the word mushroom because it's not defined.
Okay.
So,
it's like a weird loophole.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. So if you're reading a label, they should be transparent enough to say, are they using mycelium or are they using fruit body? So arguably, scientifically, there's applications for both, for sure. We're just not in a time in where technology exists that we can produce a superior mycelium-based product. Because it's right now how it's produced, it's grown on grain. So we call them MOG, mycelium on grain. And mostly when you bring that into extraction, you're mostly extracting grain sugars at the end of the day.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So there are benefits to the mycelium for sure, but the way that it's produced, there's not a way to produce enough of it to have a therapeutic impact in my humble opinion. So we focus on the longer route, which is growing the entire mushroom to fruition, harvesting just the fruiting body and extracting just the fruit body.
Wow.
Yeah. And then this word extraction usually gets glossed over. So just like alcohol is a good example, you go into a liquor store, you're going to have different grades of alcohol. You're going to have top shelf, you're going to have bottom shelf. So garbage in, garbage out. Same ethos for anything, cannabis even, right? Same thing with mushroom products. So we've been focused on chipping away at more modern, sustainable extraction technology. So we focus on sound. So
sound?
Yeah, so ultrasonic. Okay. So we utilize ultrasound to process our mushrooms into extract.
Really?
Yep, and freeze drying as well.
Does that break it apart or something?
Yeah, exactly. So what you're doing in a scientific lens is creating cavitation bubbles. So you'll have, I don't have a show and tell example, but when you get to tour, I can give you, we have a ton of examples on our Instagram as well, but you can have like a mason jar, you can put your solvent of choice in it for, we're USDA certified organic. So we're only going to touch organic solvents, if you will. With the complex chemistry of fungi, you generally can get everything out if you're using water and alcohol. So we use organic cane alcohol. But you'll have a mason jar or whatever vessel you want. You'll load your fruiting body material in it, and it'll be saturated in the alcohol or water, and then you'll extract it one way or another. We insert an ultrasonic probe horn that generates ultrasound, and what it does is create cavitation bubbles, and it will micronize and disrupt the fields of what's in there, and it breaks apart chitin very well. So it'll do deep compound extraction because that chitin is a complex biopolymer, and a lot of the secondary metabolites or the goods that we want are interwoven into the chitin layer. So when we're breaking it down, you're letting those go into the solvent, if you will.
And then how do you get the liquid from that?
Yeah, so we put it in the liquid, right?
Yeah.
And then we use the ultrasonic extraction technology. Then we'll filter out the insoluble material, which will be the leftover chitin. And then you have a dark fluid. That's your liquid extract.
Okay.
Yeah. So we produce an alcohol-based extract, which that's what that is. It's an alcohol water. And then we can process it to where we remove all of the alcohol using modern science like rotary evaporators to collect all of the alcohol off. And then we can freeze dry that into a high quality freeze dried powdered extract. and then we homogenize it into a organic vegetable glycerin base.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that's what those guys are that we gave.
So what's the ratio to like how many pounds and how many do you get from the extraction?
Yeah, so it depends on the fungi that you're working with.
Okay.
And the technique. Yeah, so it really just depends. But for us, we're aiming for a 1-to-1. So for each milliliter, you get 1 gram or 1,000 milligrams of fruiting body.
Wow.
Yep.
Cool. That's a lot.
Yeah, it's a lot. It's a whole rabbit hole, the world of fungi.
So what are some of your top selling products that you guys sell?
Yeah, I would say the most popular functional.
Would they be these guys right here?
I would say out of the 4 that we focus on, the most popular and most known would be lion's mane.
For sure.
Yeah. 100%. So,
and that would be this one right here.
Yep, lion's mane.
So what kind of health benefits can you expect if you're taking this?
Yeah, so you want to give a stab at it?
Yeah, I mean, basically clarity and focus with lion's mane, anything with the brain. So, any cognitive support, memory support.
Recall.
That's what I need.
Yeah. So in the scientific lens, what we're looking at is the compounds found in lion's mane are really interesting in that they can upregulate gene expression pathways for neuronal development. So I don't know if our listeners might have heard of something called BDNF, which is brain-derived neurotrophic factors, which is what's needed for learning behavior. So one thing that's really important when you're taking a functional mushroom, a lot of people in Western medicine, they want to feel it. They want to know they just took that edible or they're going to take more of it, right? So Eastern versus Western approach with functional fungi, what you're doing is a preventative approach for the most part. So you want to be taking it daily for a prolonged amount of time and at a therapeutic level.
What would you say a therapeutic level is?
That's a big question mark. With the current research, there isn't a whole lot of known about what the upper or lower limits of lion's mane is. What is known is that when you're taking it daily and for a long amount of time, the benefits are accumulative. So when you start doing assays or like memory recall studies or something like that, what you'll see after most of these studies, they're looking at 1, 6 month, 18 months down the road. And the longer you take it, the higher the efficacy.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
And you got to stay on top of it every day. If you skip a week, then you got to start over.
It's not really, actually. It turns out,
pick up where you left off.
Yeah. So just like, I like to climb. We're here in Colorado. There's a lot of rocks.
Lots of that.
You can do a lot of climbing. But if I climbed once 10 years ago, I wouldn't walk around and say I'm a climber, right? Yeah. But that I'm doing it on a regular basis, I would call myself a climber. And if I take a week off, I don't lose all my climbing ability, right? It's still there. But the longer you take off, the harder it is to get back on. So you don't necessarily start from scratch, but
is it possible to take too much? Is like that an issue ever?
I don't think there's been any research showing an upper limit to how much you could take, which is why we're launching that new product, the
Nartar.
Yeah.
Love it. That's what I've been trying the last few days.
Yeah.
In the mornings.
Nice. Yeah. So
but I'll try that at night now. You recommend so I can remember my dreams.
Yeah. Give it a shot.
Cool.
Yeah. For me, I never remember my dreams, but then once I started taking a really quality lion's mane product, it's a different story.
Wow.
I start actually remembering and participating in my dream landscape.
No way.
Yeah.
I feel like one time I took too much lion's mane and I had an allergic reaction. And it felt like I was sunburnt all over my neck and my kind of like a niacin. Have you ever done that?
A flush? Yeah.
Yeah. I was like, I couldn't blow glass because it was like so sensitive to the heat. And then we looked it up and it was like that. I guess there is some things online where if you take too much lion's mane, you can have like an allergic reaction like that.
Yeah.
Have you ever heard of that?
No,
that's like with strawberries too. Like even if you're not allergic, if you eat too many, there's like some kind of compound it can make. Yeah.
Yeah. Because I had extra that day and I had a smoothie with tons of lion's mane in it. And then right after I drank it, I was like getting all flush. It was weird.
That's crazy. Yeah.
So how would you recommend taking like all 3 of these every day, daily, or what's the...
You could.
Yeah, I do.
You do?
Yeah. Well, I also make it, so it's easier for me to,
just take a couple off the
just licking
assembly line.
Yeah, exactly. It really depends. So each of the functional fungi have sort of a wide range of what they are known for. But we generally like to put the blinders on, because if we started going into all the research, which all of the mushrooms, it's sort of very broad. So they do have overlap, like a Venn diagram, but they also have specialties of what they're well known for being champions in, right? So that's why when we're talking about lion's mane, we talk about the nootropicness of lion's mane. So the cognitive, the focus, that kind of stuff. For cordyceps, we think about energy.
That's this one right here. Yeah. Energy. Okay.
Yeah. So cordyceps. Cordyceps, we focus on Cordyceps militaris, which is a cultivatable cordyceps. The cordyceps that everybody learns about generally is a different species that cannot be cultivated. It's a compound species that's only wild harvested in the Himalayas at a certain elevation at certain times of the year.
Really?
Yeah. And when you put when you build a sentence and you say humans and sustainable wild harvesting, it doesn't equate to sustainability most of the time.
Okay.
Most of it's economic driven, and there's an over harvesting aspect most of the time, I would argue.
Out in nature.
Yeah. Yeah. So, but there is a cordyceps species that could, because of modern breeding, be a more superior cordyceps than the wild version, arguably. And what makes it so beneficial is a compound a lot of people are looking at. Again, we don't know what we don't know. And there's a lot of compounds in cordyceps, and it can do a lot of different things. But the one that people highlight is called cordycepin. So
cordycepin.
Yeah. So cordycepin is a compound found in this cordyceps species. And if you Googled a molecular structure of cordycepin, and then you put it on half your screen, and then you Googled adenosine, this amino acid, and you put it on the other side of your screen, and you compared them, they would be virtually indistinguishable.
Really?
There's one OH group different, but your body doesn't tell the difference. So many people listening in science class, they had to memorize something about the mitochondria. Did you have to memorize anything about the mitochondria?
It's the powerhouse of the cell.
Exactly. A lot of people were forced to memorize that in some biology.
The powerhouse of the cell.
Powerhouse of the cell. Your mitochondria is known as the powerhouse of the cell. So if we put some context to that, it utilizes something called ATP synthase. So adenosine triphosphate is a complex molecule that equates to your metabolic process. So your energy, basically. So all of your cells have a mitochondria, and it utilizes ATP to generate energy. So that's why we can move our arms. That's why our muscles move and twitch and do whatever. And it has cascading effects as well. So for exercise, breathing, all that kind of stuff is related. So when you take something like cordyceps with cordycepin in it, you get an upregulated metabolic process. Basically.
Wow.
Yeah.
So your overall body is just working better.
Yeah.
A lot of the athletes and stuff, a lot of the mycology brands are kind of gearing cordyceps stuff towards athletes for that exact reason. Yeah.
Yeah. But I argue you don't have to be like an Olympic athlete to get the benefit. I think everyday people or professionals that are just on their feet for 8 to 12 hours a day will get the most benefit out of something like cordyceps.
That is so cool.
Yep.
And what's the last or the other one that you guys have? Reishi.
Reishi. And we have a turkey tail as well.
Oh, you do?
But either way, so reishi, next one in queue. So reishi, I would argue, would be probably the second most popular functional mushroom. Sure. Mainly when you're getting into traditional Chinese medicine, one of the first fungi that you learn about is reishi, red reishi. And like I mentioned earlier, the complex nature that it has of compound production gives it sort of, when I like to say, when in doubt, reishi. I just fall back on reishi. Yeah. But what we put the blinders on, what we're looking at is adaptogenics. So it's a really hot word right now,
adaptogenics.
Yeah. So maca, ashwagandha, ginseng, they're all considered adaptogens. Yeah. So reishi is considered a superior adaptogen. So what does adaptogen mean in science, really? Most people, when they're looking at, they think about stress. So stress is a broad term, but it does equate to the same thing, basically. So my stress is not the same as your stress or Juliet's stress, right? But it's stress one way or another. That stress generally results in imbalances in your system. Hormonally, the balance here is your cortisol. So cortisol spikes will occur because of poor diet, exercise, injury, just overall arching stress in your life. Your system gets really disrupted and unbalanced. So adaptogens, what they've been researched and looked at is helping you rebalance your system so that you can adapt to that stressful environment. Yeah, you should definitely meditate on what the stress really is and work with that long term for sure. Reishi can definitely help you get back to your balanced state.
So
though.
Is it like nature's Xanax a little bit?
Yeah, for sure. You can think of it that way. For relaxation, a lot of people look at reishi for sleep, anxiety. That's a big one there. But it has a ton of immunomodulation capabilities. So your immune system is really complex, and reishi has a lot of really cool compounds in it that help modulate that system. So it can either ramp it up or ramp it down based on what it needs at the time.
So it's good for your immunity too.
Yeah, I would say all of them are at the end of the day. But so
reishi,
yeah,
especially for sure.
And turkey tail for sure.
Turkey tail.
Yeah.
I guess I'm not sure if I have some of those in the box or not, but
either way, turkey tail, Trametes versicolor.
That's the Latin name,
but it looks like a turkey tail.
Yeah, I've seen those. Yeah,
it's probably one of the widely distributed fungi on planet Earth.
Really?
Yeah.
Why is that?
Just really successful.
Okay.
It has a wide ecological ability to adapt to a system, and it can be found on every continent basically, besides Antarctica.
Naturally out there.
Yep.
Are there any mushrooms on Antarctica? Or
I don't know, actually. If there's decaying material, there will be fungi.
Oh, really?
Yeah. But if there's no decay, then no fungi.
And when you grow these, do they need light during the day, or like do they have?
Yeah. So
I always kind of thought they grow in the dark for some reason.
A lot of people think that, because they're ephemeral. They usually grow in really damp, moist, hidden environments. So
they grow at night, and you always like see them the next day walking around.
Yeah,
they feel like.
Yeah, for sure. So fungi are not phototrophic, so they don't consume light for energy, but they're photoreceptive. So they can utilize light for different metabolic processes, for sure.
They don't need it to grow?
Some do. Some need some sort of light trigger to be able to fruit. But we mimic that various different ways. So that's what this bag really symbolizes, is sort of an artificial log. So we're out here in the Front Range. You come up to a log, you're going to see a mushroom fruiting out of the log. How did it get there? So fungi produce spores. So and there can be a complex set of different genetics of how they actually breed and all that kind of stuff. But spores will float through the environment, and you generally need two that are genetically compatible. They will grow in their environment, they'll fuse, and they'll create mycelium, which is the body of the fungus. And then they'll grow through that log and consume it and turn it into their body, basically.
They eat the log?
Yeah, so their stomach is on the outside. They turn the world into their body, basically. So we internalize food, we consume it, and our stomach enzymes will break it down, and we have microbes to digest it. They have an outside stomach to where they produce enzymes, they break down their environment, and then they grow into it.
Wow.
Yeah, so this white bottom here used to be just oak, basically.
I have seen some people like take a log and they drill holes into it and they grow off of that log in their backyard.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's a low-tech way of growing fungi yourself. You can get a wide array of hardwoods, whatever it is. Yeah, fungi have a pretty wide diet, but some they won't grow, so it depends. And
then do you grind up the wood and make these blocks?
Yes.
Because it looks kind of like ground up wood.
Yep. We get pelletized wood, just like a hardwood fill pellets.
Fungus eat it more easily when it's kind of in that ground up process instead of like hardwood? I would imagine probably take longer.
So you can have like big wood chips or just like a big log. It'll take longer to consume that unless you ground it up into a fine powder. And we get pelletized wood, so hardwood fuel chips, fuel pellets, basically what a lot of people use for wood fired stoves. Yeah, same idea.
You can grow mushrooms with that.
Yep. You'll just hydrate it, and once you hydrate it, it'll turn into hydrated sawdust, basically. And then you could inoculate it with whatever your inoculum is going to be, whether it's a liquid or a solid or whatever, and it'll grow through that.
Very cool. So like turkey tail, have you? That looks like a turkey tail, and I've seen like lobster mushrooms too. They kind of like look like lobster.
Yeah.
Pink.
Yeah. And
have you tried those?
I have not. I've found a couple in the Pacific Northwest, and we just saw a post on. I forgot what the Facebook.
Somebody found them. That's a part of the Colorado Mycological Society. They found some somewhere around here.
Really?
7,500 feet elevation, I think.
And they found
a bunch
harvest of them. Yeah, it was crazy.
I think they found it under ponderosa pine, which that's what we're looking at here.
Yeah, that's ponderosa gas station right down there. Yeah. So it's right around here, I guess.
Yeah, maybe we should go look after this.
Yeah, I'd love to go mushroom hunting one time.
Yeah.
And I heard like when you do, you don't really see them, but when you see one, you start to see them all, or something like that. Your brain kind of like
if you see switches. One, there's definitely more around.
Yeah, sure. Pattern recognition. Yeah. So once your brain sort of unlocks the first time you identify a fungi, it gets easier each time you do it.
Really?
Yeah. So you turn into the worst hiking partner. So
no,
you're kind of a sloth.
You're not going very fast.
No, you're just feet on the ground, tripping on everything, looking for fungi, not really looking out, but down.
Yeah. No, I'd love to try that sometime. Yeah, if you guys ever like want to go, that'd be awesome.
Yeah, this area is really great seasonally too.
Yeah. What's the best time of year?
Depends on the fungi that you're looking for. So they'll generally fruit from the spring to the fall.
Yeah.
And so depending on the species, the elevation, the local environment, it will produce mushrooms.
What do they do during the winter?
Cry.
Do they just go away and then
sort of hibernate, if you will. So they're just depends on how they're growing. So if they're like growing in a log, they'll still survive in that log. And a lot of them are going to be soil dwelling, so they're going to be living or a mycorrhizal, which is the type of fungi that has a symbiotic relationship with like a tree or another plant. They're required.
So when the tree loses its leaves, it kind of
it can recycle the carbon from the leaves back into the system for sure.
Wow.
Yeah, so if you want to find very specific choice gourmet fungi like chanterelles or morels or amanita is a good example. Those are all mycorrhizal species where they associate with a very specific set of organisms. So if you learn to identify certain trees, you can start finding certain fungi as well.
Okay. Yeah. Do any mushrooms fruit in the winter?
Yeah, there's definitely some winter fruit.
Really?
Turkey tail definitely will keep going.
Oh yeah.
Given
they're pretty hardy.
For sure. Given the right environmental conditions, it will continuously fruit. So whether that's temperature, water, air, it just depends.
But otherwise, like some of them in the winter, like kind of waiting for that environmental cue to like fruit again, right?
Yeah. So they're waiting for the temperatures to raise a little bit, to thaw out, so the water starts to melt, and then it can get the nutrition that it needs to start producing more fungi, to produce more spores that get carried throughout the environment to start that process over.
Yeah, so the water from the melt probably helps them just stay healthy.
They like moisture,
Yeah, or like some species will fruit after burns. So after fires.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so they're really good. They're ecosystem engineers and recyclers for the most part.
So they like all that carbon or
absolutely
is left behind.
Yeah,
totally.
What are your favorite mushrooms out there, like visually?
That's why I brought this species right
the
here.
Antler one.
Antler Reishi aesthetically is one of my favorite to cultivate and just see grow because it's just intricate. It's very beautiful. It's quite easy to cultivate as well. Cordyceps is definitely also one of my favorites. And then lion's mane too. I love exploring different types of lion's mane to see how they interact and they produce fruit differently.
Does it look like lion's mane? Is that why they kind of call it?
Some pictures later.
We'll put some B-roll up when we edit this, but
yeah, that's why it got its common name for sure, because it looks sort of like a mane of a lion. Yeah.
So I mean, when people are finding new mushrooms and they're coming, like back in the day, I guess a lot of them would kill you, right? Or some of them would kill you. And
so I think there's the statistic for the ones that are poisonous that can kill you is like 0.1%.
0.1%. Okay. Wow. So not too many.
No. Some can make you sick for sure.
Yeah.
If they're not either cooked properly or cooked at all. Some need to be cooked, so they have sort of mycotoxins that will break down. So morels are a good example of that. Button mushrooms also have unique chemistry that you need to cook to eat them. Should never eat fungi raw, no matter what.
Even like button mushrooms?
Correct. Yeah. So if you go to a salad bar and they have raw button mushrooms, they're trying to kill you.
Oh, yeah. Why is that? Just because the toxins?
Lack of knowledge. They have mycotoxins in them.
So you want to heat that up and break it down?
Yeah. Okay. So your body most of the time can't break down insoluble material. So that's what that chitin material is. It's insoluble to the human gut. Oh. So fire or fermentation are great ways to break that chitin down to be digestible. plus the nutrients are then released. Because if you just got some reishi and you ground it up and you consumed it, a lot of people will get stomach discomfort as well from eating fungi if they're not cooked properly.
And like with magic mushrooms too, no one cooks those, and like, so you're eating those raw, I guess.
Some people, yes. So a lot of people talk about that too. That's an interesting.
Gut rot a little bit.
Some people can get nauseous for sure from the chitin, but also from the compounds themselves, arguably because psilocin and psilocybin and these other tryptamines are saturating your serotonin receptors, and you have tons of them in your gut as well. So a lot of people can mitigate that through extraction for sure. You can produce a superior product by making a tea very easily too, and filtering out the chitin. So you still might get nausea, but it's generally because of your serotonin receptors that are being saturated at the time. But you'll remove the risk of nausea from chitin, at least.
So I've made mushroom tea before, and I like that. I think that's just like easier on my body. And it's still like potent sometimes if you put enough in. But would you ever do that with like reishi or like lion's mane and extract it kind of that way?
Yeah,
get all the chitin left behind.
Yeah, so a lot of people do hot water based extractions daily when they make coffee.
Okay.
So it's a great example. Did you make coffee this morning?
Yeah, I did.
Perfect. You just did a hot water extraction. You did an alkaloidal hot water extraction.
Some bean soup.
Yeah,
exactly. And you pulled out the caffeine molecule. It's an alkaloid. It comes out in water, right? So the complex chemistry here, some will come out in hot water. Some need other things to come out. So you can do a hot water extraction of pretty much any fungi that you want, but you're going to be isolating water-soluble compounds for the most part. So the difference between functionals and psychedelics is that psychedelics are alkaloidal based, and they do come out in acidic water, which your gut is a great extractor for the psychedelic compounds. You can also extract it using hot acidic water, like lemon tech is what people call it.
I've been hearing about lemon tech.
The lemon tech, dude. It's
I hear it's like way better.
Well, what you're also doing is you're taking all of the so psilocybin and psilocin are arguably synonymous, right? Psilocybin is converted into psilocin through your body, and psilocin is what crosses the blood-brain barrier. So arguably this is the same thing. But when you're growing psychedelic fungi, you're growing both psilocybin and psilocin, and psilocin is highly unstable. So most of the time when you're consuming a psychedelic mushroom, you're mostly getting psilocybin because it's structurally more sound in a dehydrated state. So when you take acidic water, you're actually converting everything into psilocin. So when you consume it as a tea, it comes on quicker. Some people say cleaner, stronger. It's because you're converting everything. Your body doesn't have to do much.
That makes sense.
Just with the THCA arguments, it's very similar.
Or like if you ate some mushrooms just straight up and then you were maybe like, I want maybe a little bit more than that. It wasn't a big enough dose or whatever. If you lemon tech it, you'll feel it come on.
So what do you do with the lemon tech? Like how do you just put like lemon juice from fresh from a lemon in your tea and heat it up?
Yeah, so there's probably a bunch of different ways to do it, right? So one easy
How do you guys do it? You guys are the pros.
He taught me how to do it.
So if I don't have access to my lab and I'm at home, right, I'm going to do some kitchen chemistry. The easiest way, fresh lemons are great. You can also just get lemon concentrate, right? So like the little
bottle.
Yeah.
Little bottle. So you'll want to powderize your fungi and through a coffee grinder or something, you want to get it as much surface area as possible. Put it in a mason jar, cover it in lemon. So whether that's a couple tablespoons or a fourth a cup, doesn't really matter. You just want to try to saturate and cover it in lemon. Let it sit for a couple minutes, 5-10 minutes, and then you can pour your hot water over that. And I recommend using a mason jar that has, it's graduated, so it has like the milliliter markers on it. So that you could dose it correctly too. You can do a little bit of math and understand per 100 milliliters, I'm getting this much mushroom. But that's how I would generally do it. And I like to add a little bit of reishi to that as well, and probably a little ginger.
Have you ever had a jar explode? Because some of those, I don't think they're thermoshock resistant. And if you put boiling hot water in a mason jar, it can just pop like that.
For sure. You'd be surprised. So mason jars are a great tool for the kitchen chemist, also for the mushroom cultivator. A lot of the glassware that's utilized through pressure cookers or pressure canners are wide mouth mason jars.
Really?
So yeah, if you can grow mushrooms in it, you can make a tea out of it for sure. But I know what you mean exactly.
Yeah. That's cool. So how do you filter out like the powder when you're going to drink it, or do you just drink the grinded fruit too?
You can do both.
Yeah.
I have a modified mason jar lid for making sprouts. So you can buy like a sprout kit, which has a wide mouth mason jar lid that has a strainer in it, basically. Or you can use like a tea filter, or a lot of people use like a French press. It works fine too. But you can arguably consume. You want to avoid the chitin though, because it could cause stomach discomfort.
And that's just mixed up and grinded. In with the powder.
Yeah, you just need like a thin strainer or something. Like there's tea
cheesecloths.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, nut milk bag works great too.
Milk bag. What's that?
A nut milk bag.
Oh, nut milk bag. I was like, do you know about milk bags? Growing up in Canada, that's how we got our milk.
Oh, you're from Canada? Nice.
Just in bags. And you got to like buy a bag holder. It's like crazy, man. You buy bags of milk there. It's wild. Wow. Okay. So, yeah.
You're learning all this.
And so when you take this every day, what do? Just put a few drops in something?
Yeah.
Or right in your mouth?
Yep. It just needs to get into your system.
Yeah.
You can take it whenever. We're creatures of habit, right? So I wake up, first thing I do is drink something, whether it's a glass of water, a glass of tea, or a glass of coffee. And I'll generally add that to whatever I'm drinking at the time.
You can do it straight up though, because those are the glycerin based ones, and they're very like sweet and palatable compared to like an alcohol tincture for sure.
I'm going to try this one right here. And then I'll just take it every day now.
What one is that one?
This one's the Lion's Mane, Clarity and Focus. I need that. So how much would you do?
So like 1 ml. You see the little markings on there?
You saw all the way up to the top?
Yeah. Yep. Full dropper. It's hard to get in there sometimes. Yeah, that's
pretty
solid.
close.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
And you don't necessarily have to let it sit in your mouth or anything like that. You can just wash it down. So USDA certified organic, it's limited ingredients. It's 4 ingredients, arguably 2. So it's fruiting body from lion's mane that we cultivated right there in Colorado in Fort Lupton.
Yeah.
And then we add a synergistic herbal partner to each tincture.
What does that mean?
So in the world of ecology, I'm out on a hike. I don't just notice fungi and I don't notice just plants, but there's a biodiversity play of everything in our system. So we try to create a product that symbolizes biodiversity in the functional space. So we have the most potent fungal functional for cognitive support, and then we'll take the most potent herbal nootropic as well and extract that as well in our farm and combine them.
Wow.
So that one has Gatucola.
Tucola? Gatucola. What is that?
So it's
an herb of some kind.
Yeah, it's a functional herb that's well known as an adaptogenic, and it can aid with cognitive performance as well, mental clarity, stuff like that. And it also, part 2 has a really good flavor. That's what you're mostly tasting there.
Okay.
So we have the functional mushroom. If I was a sommelier for the mushroom space, my palate wheel would consist of terms like soil, dirt, tar, and then when you concentrate it, it doesn't taste any better. So herbs can pair really well with the dark umami flavor tones of fungi, add some brightness to it. So we have the fungi, the herb, and then what it's held in, which is organic vegetable glycerin.
Glycerin.
Yeah, so glycerin is a natural byproduct that can be fermented from plants. So you take plant fats, and then you can basically ferment them or add a little heat and pressure, and it'll produce water and glycerol and oil. So glycerol is glycerin. It's just it comes from plants basically, but it has about 60% the sweetness of honey, and it's got a really good shelf stability. So it's just literally to be shelf stable and add a little bit of sweetness to the product.
And so with the Nartar, that is like a little bit thicker.
Oh yeah,
a lot thicker.
Gnarly,
so arguably, that's why we named it Nartar as well. It's a gnarly tar-like material. So arguably, what we're doing is we're taking 25 of those bottles and concentrating it into one.
Wow.
Yeah. So one.
And
bottle,
is that lion's mane? The Nartar?
Yep.
Yeah. That's our first Nartar release, which is unreleased at this point. We're going to do a limited release of maybe 100 bottles a month to whoever wants to get in on it. And then depending on how that goes, we'll release a Cordyceps version in a couple months.
Wow. So you're getting like 25 times more the health benefits on a daily regular?
Yep. So 1 ounce, 130 ml bottle can last 2 months.
Of the Nartar.
Of the Nartar.
Yeah. If you take about half a ml a day.
Half a ml?
Yeah.
Okay.
But if you take a full ml, I think you're getting like 5 or 6 grams per mil, I believe. I did the math the other day. I was like, okay, that's a lot. But you asked, is there an upper limit? We don't know. So this is for those myconauts that really want to push the limit for functionals and potency to see, and they're going to, whoever gets it is going to be a beta tester, basically.
Yeah. Well, I'm doing it right now. I'm 3 days into it. I feel like I'm unlocking the like limitless pill right now. I just got to do a few more days and I'll be there. But for sure. No, it's it's thick, but I can feel it working. Yeah. You know it's healthy and working when it's that thick.
For sure.
Absolutely. But what we were talking about a little earlier, I definitely want to chat about MycoReach. So it's a nonprofit we launched last year.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. Our launch date was Telluride last year.
Oh, wow. So your 1 year anniversary is coming up.
So MycoReach, the elevator pitch there, we want to be the bridge that bridges the gap between the myco-curious to the myco-serious to ultimately making them myco-lovers. So
I love that.
In the beginning, we were talking about community science and citizen science-y, really, where some of the biggest impacts, the innovations, the creativity, the whatever, mycomaterials was not an academic thing. It was just a passionate individual that had the right tools and resources and technology to take an idea and turn it into fruition. So MycoReach is just our attempt at being the bridge that can bring the technology, the materials, the expertise, whatever, that just anybody has a good idea. We want to help them accomplish that good idea.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So how do people, if there's some basement scientist that's working on a project with mushrooms, they would reach out to you guys and propose their project and you guys would help or something?
Absolutely. Yep. Basically.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. So,
that's awesome.
Yeah. So we're going to have our MycoReach brick and mortar open this year, I hope, which is in Wheat Ridge. It's about a 7,000 square foot warehouse that we're moving Mycolove Farm into as well. And then there's going to be a MycoReach community space where we'll allow access to expertise, tools to accomplish projects that the community thinks up.
Cool.
Whether it's for food, medicine, or technology, whatever they want to do. And a good example of this was what we're bringing to Telluride. Again, we built a fully functional, off-the-grid mobile myco lab out of a Ford Transit van. Basically, it's a clean room on wheels. Yeah, so we'll be there again this year. And what we did last year, and we traveled around the U.S. in it, would go to these different mushroom festivals and offer cloning services. So people go out on these mushroom festivals and they learn from elders in the space of how to identify, go on a foray. So you go foraging for fungi. And whatever they found, we'd bring back, they would identify it, and then we will clone it and put it in our culture bank. And then we allow access to that culture bank for people to do really cool things with, because we don't have like a open source genetic culture bank in the myco community.
Really?
Right now. So we want
you guys could be the first.
Yeah.
I mean,
that's the goal.
That's awesome.
So we have,
once if they find the mushrooms out in the wild, they bring them to you, you clone it, then you can just keep reproducing those.
Yep.
Oh, wow.
Yep. It's just like burning CDs basically on a petri dish.
How do you do that? Like, do you take a little sample of it?
Exactly. So fungi, a lot of fungi are considered pluripotent.
Pluripotent.
Pluripotency is sort of like a stem cell where a cell can arguably turn into anything. So if you take one cell of fungi, it acts like a stem cell and it can make more fungi, basically. So what we do in the cultivation world is we'll go out to the wild, we'll find that mushroom or whatever. We'll take it back to the clean room, and in a very clean environment, we'll take and break it open. We'll take an inside sample of it, some tissue.
Is that what that's the best area to clone from?
Exactly. Okay. So the outside is arguably contaminated because it's coated in microbes. Even if you wiped it down with ISO and all that stuff, it doesn't matter. You just have to break it open. And on the inside, you can take some tissue material and you can plate it on a petri dish. So a petri dish is just a two-dimensional growing surface that has...
I remember those from high school.
Yeah.
Messed with those. Yeah.
And fungi, you can make really easy petri dishes at home with a home autoclave would be a pressure canner. some glassware, and some sterile petri dishes, and you can pour your own plates. You can make really easy agar medium. You can buy agar from the grocery store. It's a
agar. Okay. What is that?
Uganari is like a seaweed, and it's processed. You can buy it basically, but it's a vegan gelatinizing agent. So gelatin comes from animals, and fungi don't like gelatin either. It turns into a goop. So, but you can get this stuff called agar powder, and it's used in baking. But you can use it in the scientific sense, making and solidifying a jello food for fungi. And you can use really simple sugar like honey.
Huh. So you put the agar, a little bit of honey in a petri dish, and then you put the little sample right on top of it?
Yep. Right on top.
Close it up?
Yep. And then you let it grow.
Grows.
Yeah, it grows.
Wow.
You can find some really cool time lapses online of petri dish. That's arguably what, the Paul Stamets book, Mycelium Running.
Mm-hmm.
So the title of that is plating. So you run mycelium. From month to month, you'll take a sample, put it on a new dish, and it'll keep growing. And you can keep most fungi alive indefinitely as long as you feed it properly.
So how big does the petri dish need to get before you can clone it again?
Yeah, about the size of a quarter.
A quarter, wow. Yeah.
So it'll grow its vegetative mycelial state on the dish in an outward direction and a fractal, like I don't know what you want to call it, but it grows out.
We'll put some B-roll of that because that sounds amazing.
You gotta check out Basidium Equilibrium on Instagram. He does a lot of cool genetic work and stuff, but he posts a lot of pictures of his plates, and it's like an artwork in itself.
Really?
It's so cool, yeah.
Yep.
We'll show you.
For sure.
Yeah.
And it grows out on that dish. And then you can make copies of it. You can back it up, do whatever, store it, that kind of stuff. That's what we're doing with the culture bank. And then if you get your hands on that petri dish, you can turn it into more fungi by cultivating it throughout the cultivation process.
Wow. So could you try different conditions with the same species and just see what works for it? You can
absolutely. There's
experiment with all that.
Absolutely. There's a lot to unpack. There's a lot unknown. And especially with the way that the global climate is changing, there's a lot of work that needs to get done. And fungi are considered really good at adapting to environments. So they're really good at breaking novel things down sometimes. So you could actually, utilizing agar work, you can train fungi to eat a novel material. So a lot of people look at mycoremediation in hydrocarbons or petrochemicals or whatever, but these are hydrocarbons. So they're carbon, hydrogen bonded molecular structures like diesel fuel. Stuff like that.
Take
oil.
Your word on that.
But it's a complex hydrocarbon, and fungi are really good at breaking carbon hydrogen bonds down. That's what lignin is, what tree wood is. If you Googled lignin and looked at a molecular structure, it'll blow your mind. But it's a lot of carbon hydrogen bonds. And then all you're doing is kind of substituting that for a different version, and then they will utilize that as food. But you have
so what do you mean you can train it to do that? Like what would there be like a bad material out there and we're like, we got to get rid of this and we're going to train this mushroom and we're going to grow it over there. It's going to take care of that problem.
Yes. It depends on the material. And then you can so a good at-home experiment you can do is you can train pretty much any cultivatable fungi to consume 100% coffee grounds. But you have to introduce coffee grounds to it a little at a time and cultivate it and collect it and start over from spore.
Interesting. You can't shock it with too much. You got to
train it because they will adapt. They will learn.
Would it eat plastic?
Arguably, there are some known fungi that can break complex plastic bonds. There are some that are being looked at now. Found from the Amazon basin, I believe. They found a couple promising versions. And there's some people that are looking at ocean plastic the same way. Trying to find a mycomaterial that can float in the ocean that will just consume microplastics.
Are there mushrooms that just float on their own out in the ocean?
Not that I'm aware of.
You'd have to like build like a platform.
Probably. And it's salt water, so who knows if that would work. But there are fungi that have been identified that will fruit in water.
Really?
Yeah,
it's
the
like
Columbia
a whole,
River.
Like unknown thing. I feel like
underwater
a couple
fungi,
aquatic fungi that they know, but that's like
unexplored.
Yeah,
unexplored for sure.
100%.
There's like 95% of the ocean.
Yep, exactly.
Or whatever it is.
Exactly. But like I said, there's just an infinite amount of things to be discovered, and it takes.
You guys are right on like the front of it, like blue ocean. That's awesome. Can you survive off of mushrooms like only if you were out in the wild? Like you can eat mushrooms for nutrition and
Absolutely. I think so. There might be, and they're really, actually, I don't know, but I think you could, arguably.
Yeah.
There has been some studies for satiation. So meat eaters it turns out can be more satiated from eating oyster mushrooms than they are from eating meat.
Really?
Yeah. Because of the crude protein that it's made up of, but it's got your elemental parts, the micro and macronutrients in there. You have your protein, you have your very little fat, no cholesterol really. And
so oyster mushrooms are as nutritious as like meat, you're saying?
Arguably can be more nutritious. Yeah. Wow. So COVID was really interesting to see how the nutraceutical space blew up in general, not only for health, but for protein. So, we get over the course of Mycolove, we've gotten thousands of emails. And the pattern that I've seen is they could be 18, they could be 118, doesn't really matter. But they're the same story. It's like, hey, Western medicine has failed me. I have condition X. What can mushrooms do for me? And unfortunately, there isn't a whole lot that has been discovered. And it's not necessarily, another thing I like to remind, it's not a new science. It's a rediscovery, if you will. Because for thousands of years, we lived in a symbiotic relationship with many different fungi. We used them for food, medicine, and technology, to carry fire, for cups, for whatever. And we lost that someplace throughout our development. And we're just now rediscovering that relationship again.
That's what it seems like.
Yeah. But back to the COVID and protein, I remember you couldn't get chicks. Because a lot of people wanted eggs because of the disruption of whatever. Supply disruption. There's a big one. So a lot of people were like homesteading. I remember mason jars were hard to find because people were canning everything.
Toilet paper too.
Yeah, exactly. And you could homestead all these things, but people couldn't figure out protein except eggs. So like we can do eggs. They can't really have a cow or a goat in their backyard necessarily, but they can grow oyster mushrooms. So a lot of people started figuring out and learning that they wanted to cultivate their own protein supply that they arguably could use from byproducts in their own home. Because you can grow oysters on paper waste. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
And do you need light, or do they grow in a dark environment?
They can grow out in your garden.
Oh, really?
Yep. Seasonally here in Colorado for sure, but you can make what's called oyster buckets. So you get a 5-gallon bucket and you can combine it with oyster spawn if you want, or like either grain or wood that it's growing on in straw, and you can pack it into a 5-gallon bucket with a bunch of holes.
Yeah, I've seen that.
And they'll fruit.
And they grow out.
Yeah, and you can do that seasonally in your backyard. You can put it in your home. Yeah. Some people make like they're called Mother Martha tents. So it's like an indoor greenhouse you can get for like $50, but you can modify it to be a humidified, airflow, litten fruiting space for whatever mushroom that you want to cultivate.
Nice. Can you have multiple mushrooms going in that tent? That's awesome.
Yeah, a lot of the fungi that are cultivatable have an overlap in environmental conditions. So they arguably can fruit in a wide range of temperatures, humidity, ambient light, that kind of stuff.
And so how do people prepare the oyster mushroom to eat? Like, do you boil it or
cook it? Yeah, you can
pan fry it or something.
Pan fry it.
I like to air fry them these days. Fry. Super easy. But there's a science to cooking fungi for sure. A lot of people will start with a dry sear. So no oil, nothing, just the fresh mushroom and high heat, medium high heat until you start moving around and it's squeaking. When you hear the squeak, you're breaking the chitin bonds and the water will then come out a little bit. And then you can add a little bit of salt and a little bit of fat, oil or whatever to pan fry it up. And you would cook it just like you would meat. So you yeah, exactly. A little bit of garlic, a little bit of salt. I like putting nutritional yeast, and I'll just make it really easy. I'll take a bunch of oyster mushrooms, chop them up, put them in like a Tupperware with a little bit of oil and seasoning, shake it up, throw it in the air fryer, and just let it go.
Okay, so you season before the air fryer.
Yep. And I do, well, if you're going to do an air fryer, yeah, for sure. You just do everything.
But with the pan, you just want to dry dry sear it with no seasoning. Yeah. Yep. And then season it. Okay.
Yeah. And it's one of my favorite tasting fungi or oysters. Pink oysters, blue oysters, they're some of my favorite.
Wow. Can you buy those at the grocery store?
Sometimes
you can
they're kind of rare.
Gourmet boxes of mushrooms at like Whole Foods or Sprouts or something. But it just depends. Farmers market's probably a better go-to.
Honestly, growing your own is the way to go.
Well, yeah, no, that's
you don't need much space, I guess, right?
No, and it's you can do a lot with 3 dimensions, right? So it's not like a square footage issue; it's a cubic foot because you can stack buckets.
Oh,
yeah. So you can have just like a 3 foot by 3 foot by 6 foot little tent where you're growing all of this stuff in very easily.
And then you just put a shelf in there, and then you can have like multiple. Okay.
You could totally have a little tent right in here somewhere.
I have little tents because I like a veg one and a flowering one, but I might take the veg one and start growing some mushrooms.
You should, because they breathe just like humans. So they'll take in O2 and they'll put out CO2, which would be great for your cannabis plants. And what I like to do you grow in soil?
Well, I grew before. Now it's just all packed up somewhere, but it's a lot. I mean, one day I'll grow again. I like it for therapeutic reasons, but maybe growing some mushrooms would be a little more just perfect for me right now.
Yeah, no,
for sure.
100%.
Yeah, set and forget, pretty easy system.
So do you need like airflow and humidifier in there?
Yep.
Too.
Yep. You can buy depends on the cubic feet of the tent, but you can get a humidifier.
Oh,
yeah.
Just like
different.
a little one.
You fill up with water and it just goes in there.
Yep. And you want some FAE, so frequent air exchange. Same thing with cannabis. Basically.
Yeah, I have like a little fan. And there's the tube. So you just have it
you
run
can put
through.
a carbon filter in there. You don't need it for smell or anything like that. But
Did they smell a little bit like mushrooms? No?
It depends on how many you're growing, but it can have a smell for sure, but not as strong as cannabis.
It's more like if you opened up your little tent, you might get the waft of the mushrooms, but it's not really like potent everywhere.
Yeah.
Some fungal.
I left a bag open of like magic mushrooms in here, and I walk into the studio. I'm like, "What's that smell?" It like didn't smell good.
Sometimes it smells like socks or something.
Yeah, pretty stinky.
Yeah. Some fungi can have very unique smells.
Yeah,
sure.
That's true.
Reishi, definitely the mycelium smells like dirty socks. Shiitake is also really interesting.
Shiitake, that's another edible one, right?
Yep. Gourmet mushroom.
Gourmet.
Yep. Yeah, it's one of my favorites as well. Shiitake, oysters. The only fungi that I hate.
That's a strong word.
Button mushrooms. Yeah, because
that's the only kind I've really eaten a lot. You go to the grocery store, with steaks and button mushrooms.
There's qualm with it because there's so many other better ones.
Yeah, why aren't they more available?
People say I hate mushrooms. I'm like, no, you hate one mushroom and you hate the button mushroom.
Yeah.
You haven't tried these other mushrooms that actually have flavor and taste good.
Oh, yeah.
But we'll have to.
I'm excited to try some. I really haven't. I don't think a lot of people have unless you grow your own, or I guess.
I have to give them some lion's mane too, because it can actually be pretty good cooked up.
Really?
At the farmers markets, I would tell people to make like crab cakes with them. So you would just take a crab cake recipe, sub the crab for the lion's mane, and like squish it down, season it, whatever, and everyone would come back being like, "That was so good," and it's delicious.
Would you put lobster mushroom in the crab? Is there crab mushroom?
That would be like a lion's mane-ish.
Yeah.
Would be like a crab mushroom.
It's just the same like consistency
really?
Almost as like the crab or imitation crab. Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting.
The same way.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Do you guys ever get mistaken? Like, do people think you're a magic mushroom company?
Every single day, yes.
Yeah.
Really, every single day?
I mean, every email, every farmer's market, everyone coming up and like, are these the fun kind? Like, I mean, they're still fun, but not that kind.
Yeah. There's a lot of education that still needs to occur. And that's one of our biggest passions is education in this space. So we try to do a lot of educating on our social platforms to just dive into the more science and complexity of fungi for various reasons, what we're doing here. But yeah, one of the same questions we still get is, will I fail a drug test, or is this going to make me high, or like whatever? And that's why we're trying to differentiate the vocabulary with functional, utilizing this term functional fungi versus medicinal or magic or whatever. But yeah, that's a very common question.
I will say though, we do get it asked a little bit less than when I first started with Mycolove about 3 years ago or so. Like, so I think there is more stuff out there about
people are starting to become more aware.
For sure.
Yeah, just like me right now. Like it's like this time where I'm focusing on health a lot right now.
Yeah, great.
And like I can't wait to add this to my daily routine.
Yeah, you can just put it in your coffee or something too. If you're a coffee drinker, just boop, and you're good to go.
Yep. We formulated
all
them.
3. Just do like a squirt of each
My
in the
mom
coffee.
does all 4 of them every
or all
day
4,
in a
yeah.
smoothie. Yeah.
I'm gonna do that.
Yeah.
And then should I stay off the Nartar while I'm doing this too, or just mix it all? Maybe do the Nartar at night and these in the morning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. You'll just
Cool.
get an
We'll be a new man.
extra boost of lion's mane, basically.
So like how, when you're doing these experiments and like trying new stuff, because it's all kind of new right now, is there like an official way to get this information out there and like recognized in the science community? Like, is there, you
Can be.
know.
Yeah. Through publishing papers.
Yeah.
Which it happens. There are a lot of community science members that do publish in academia. But a lot of them are legitimate for various different ways, but going to mushroom festivals, doing talks, educational seminars, stuff like that. That's where a lot of this information is dispelled, if you will.
Right now, yeah.
It's usually through festivals, forums, blogs, that kind of stuff, books.
Did you guys go to the Psychedelic Festival in Denver just recently?
I did go to
You
the
did go?
event. Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, it was cool. I just kind of wanted to go check it out and, see what was going on.
Yeah, it looked.
Yeah.
I had a piece in it with the
nice.
banjo show,
Sweet.
but I couldn't even get in. It was like $1,000 or something.
I won a scholarship.
Go. Oh,
for a
really?
ticket, yeah. So
it was pretty cool.
yeah, no, it was definitely cool. And yeah, exactly like Shane was saying, there was tons of people talking about, it was more psychedelic based,
yeah,
obviously, but talking about all things psychedelic, and there was seminars and workshops and panels, with people talking, and yeah, it was really cool.
Yeah, that's its own can to unpack for sure. Is the psychedelic side here in Colorado, specifically with the 2025 legislation that passed.
Because now it's legal, or you can grow yourself.
Yeah, so there's going to be access for therapeutic means, which you'll have to do it under supervision. But with the
my neighbor I talked to her yesterday. She's like, she's an older lady, but she's gonna be a trip sitter.
Okay, yeah,
and it's like she's going to school for it, and people pay like $1,500 for a trip or something, or like 30.
Yeah. Well, so they are. So NMD, Natural Medicine Division, is a division in Colorado that oversees a lot of this, and DORA does the Department of Regulatory Agencies or something, but whatever. So the pathway is pretty interesting. So there's a therapeutic side of it, right? And we'll talk about that. And then there's what can you do at home and that kind of stuff. So there's a gray area right now where you can, same thing with cannabis with the GGG model. Are you familiar with that?
No.
Gift gather. Grow, gift, gather.
Okay.
Yeah, so you can grow it yourself utilizing certain maximum square footage of your home. You can carry it to a certain amount legally, and then you can gift it as well. Yeah, you just
so that's why some companies are like selling stickers,
right?
And you get a bag of fruit with it,
or you're paying for the packaging or something
or like a
that.
Subscription or whatever.
So that's all for personal.
It's a pretty easy loophole to get around right now, I guess.
And that's all for personal, recreational. And then when you get into the therapeutic side, the regulated side, there are 4 permits or licenses that you can apply for here in Colorado. So you can be a facilitator. That's your trip sitter friend.
Yeah, she's a facilitator.
Yep. You get a license and a certificate to be a facilitator. That
sounds like a fun job.
Yeah.
First, you got the Meta glasses, and you could just record it. You're okay. Probably against the rules to do that.
Probably.
But so you can be a facilitator.
Yep, and they're their own agents, so they can go and work at different. You can get a license to be a care center. So that's where you would go to have a facilitation, and you have facilitators that work at the care center. Then you can be a cultivator, so you can grow. Then you can be a product manufacturer or extractor, if you will. So that's the 3. And then the 4th one
would that be for like making chocolates or something? Like, okay.
Yeah, exactly. And then the last one, which is independent, would be a lab. So the labs can't have any other of the licenses for conflict issues, kind of stuff like that. But they will be the analytical side to confirm that it's clean, it's regulated in some way, you understand the potency and that kind of stuff.
Wow. So those are some new fields for any young listeners out there, the mushroom world.
Yep. I think there's 8 to 10 facilitation programs you can take in Colorado right now.
Really?
And a lot
How
of them
long?
are like online based, and maybe I don't know, 6 to 10 months for like the duration of the program. And there's a lot of places in Colorado that you can meet up and do in-person stuff like during the course itself. I've looked into it a lot. So I'm thinking about doing it, but yeah.
I wonder what the curriculum is like because you're dealing with people in another world or on a planet. So like,
a lot of it is really like harm reduction based and just knowing how to handle all the different things that could come up for the person dealing with it and understanding dosage and all this kind of thing.
Safety.
As a facilitator, you
probably need some
work
first
under
aid.
like a clinician, right? Like
there's going to be clinical facilitators and they're going to oversee regular facilitators, but they have some sort of advanced degree in the therapeutic world. For sure.
Like psychology in some way. Yeah.
And I think that one of the biggest things is going to be educating that there's a difference between harm reduction facilitation of an experience versus guiding. So they're not like going to be a bunch of these, shamans running around or anything like that. That's not what it is. It's just trip sitting is the common term for it, isn't it?
Yeah. I never heard it till yesterday.
Trip sitting.
Yeah. But so are you more like a fly on the wall or are you like there to interact with the people or are you just kind of step back? If you need my help, I'll be over here. Or are you right there kind of?
I feel like it would depend on the experience and that the person is having or what they need, but it's mostly that you're there to, like collecting data, especially being this new in a thing. Like,
you collect data as a trip sitter?
I think you would. Yeah. You would. Observational data for sure. I think it depends on the care center. They'll probably collect biomarkers and stuff like that just to understand sort of what's going on, heart rate and blood pressure and that kind of stuff. But I think your ultimate goal, because the individual taking the psychedelic is going to probably have a blindfold on, have headphones on. They're going to be, in their own landscape, in their own world, basically. And then if they are having a difficult experience, the facilitator's goal is to facilitate that difficult experience. So you always want to go downstream, right? You don't want to fight it. So I think the goal is helping them not fight the experience and go through it.
Okay. Just go with it.
Yep. Yeah. Feel it out.
And
so Mycolove isn't going to be in that space specifically. I think that there's very beautiful ways of interacting between the two. So I think like most people have this psychedelic experience and they're going to look and think ahead and they're going to be like, okay, this is all the stuff I was doing wrong with my life. Now I want to take a new step. And that regime for a new step probably plays into functionals for sure. So you can have like a pre and post experience sort of blend that will help you integrate your experience in a health-minded, health-conscious way moving forward, paying attention to your exercise, your diet, meditation, sleep, all that kind of stuff. And that's where all of these functionals will help aid an individual in their journey to that, new version of themselves. You recommend before starting the Mycolove journey, taking like a therapeutic dose of magic mushrooms?
Definitely don't have to.
I think.
Okay.
But if you're someone that did do that,
this would be the next step. Yeah. Yes. Okay. Very cool.
Yeah, and some of the members of Mycolove are starting a separate entity.
Are they?
Yep, called Entheogen. So it's Entheogyn.
Okay.
I think you can find us at entheogen.com.
Okay.
And read about it there. But we will. We're already in the process of applying for cultivator, care center, and product manufacturing.
Oh. For the psychedelic world.
Correct.
Oh, cool.
So we'll be taking a lot of the learning gains that we got through the functional side, ultrasonic extraction specifically being one, and how to apply that to the therapeutic model. Because there's a lot of questions I have on both spaces. For breeding and genetics is a big part of it. So when we're talking about the diverse chemistry of metabolomic information, the compounds that are produced in reishi, a lot of what you can learn from that, you can apply to the psychedelic lens because psilocybe cubensis is the Latin binomial, right? Cubes is what people call it necessarily.
Okay.
But it's a lot like cannabis in that there's different strains and there's a lot of different cultivars that you can breed. And what isn't well mapped out is understanding all of the tryptamines that are found, all the psychedelics that are found in that species. We know of a select few, but there's still some unknown peaks that occur when you run it through analytical chemistry equipment. You're seeing some unknown compounds. And they also have terpenes in them too, which is super interesting. Cannabis has tons of monotherpene molecular structures, Fungi do too. They have monoterpenes, diterpenes, triterpenes, and sesquiterpenes.
Really?
Yeah, they're complex molecular
and you could
structure.
extract those out?
Yeah, this mushroom has 200 or 300 terpenes.
Wow.
Yeah, it's very bitter, and it comes from the flavonoids, those terpene structures. The neurotropicness of lion's mane, that the cognitive performance comes from a diterpenoid.
I had a rosin press in here at one point, and I tried to squish some mushrooms. I actually have it over there, and it just turned into this like sweet, like picture frame of like mushrooms that are all flat and hard now. But I didn't get anything out of it. I guess that's not the way to extract the terps.
Yeah, it's probably difficult for sure. We focus mostly on alcohol. Yeah, alcohol and ultrasonics does a really good job of extracting the different terpene structures. Most of the color of the red are those terpenes.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, so it's really
we'll have to
terpy
show
over
you
here.
some, like not dried reishi, because the color is just insane. Like it loses it after that one's dehydrated.
This one's dried.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll have to show you some fresh organisms, but they're very vibrant.
Beautiful.
That's where its name kind of comes from too. Ganoderma means shiny skin.
Oh, derma, yeah. So are there health benefits to magic mushrooms? Like you guys are all focused on the health benefits, but when you take magic mushrooms, is there any other health benefits, or is it mostly just like psychological?
I don't know if there's it's unknown. I would say right now it's unknown. I think there's been a lot of focus on the tryptamines, the psychedelic containing compounds found in psilocybe cubensis, but I argue there's probably other compounds in there that aren't psychedelic that probably have some sort of physiological therapeutic means to them, but it hasn't been mapped out.
No one cares. After the trip, they're like, okay, this is what this does.
So in cannabis, it's well known that you have the entourage sort of effect, ensemble effect, where you have your THC and your cannabinoids with your terpenes, and that modulation, the interesting makeup of that creates the unique effect in the user. And arguably, you could take that same approach for functionals and psychedelics. So I think that there might be some science behind taking reishi with psilocybin. Yeah. How those complex terpenes interact in your receptor sites. I think that there's going to be some therapeutic information that we can gain from experimenting long-term with using functionals and psychedelics for sure. Yeah.
Well, if you ever need a guinea pig to come down to your testing facility, I'll spend a weekend. Absolutely. Why do you think there is so little awareness about these functional mushrooms? Like, where did that, we're focused on everything in other
scientific
areas.
Realms.
Scientific
what
realms.
Happened? I think it's a complex situation for sure. And I think part
of
it
is the drug companies just
I was going to say
for sure.
maybe Western medicine is like a big thing in that for sure.
I feel that.
Most of the research that is published on the functional nutraceutical side is not in the United States. And it's probably because of the pharmaceutical complex for sure.
Is there a leading country that's on top of this?
Japan's pretty awesome. China has really good information. I'm sure there's some others too. Spain probably.
Yeah. The mushroom world in Poland is actually like really popping.
Really?
So
yeah. So we have what's called mycophobia in the Western hemisphere for sure when it comes to fungi.
Really?
And a lot of it stems from probably England at the time and coming over from then. I think a lot of it's because of very dumb reasons, probably because their fungi are ephemeral. They just kind of come and go really quickly. They're very mysterious. Not a lot of people could understand how to cultivate them. And when you get into the side of not archaeology, but the side of ethnobotany. What are those people called?
I don't know.
But the researchers that go out and understand the plants and fungi and how native cultures utilize them for their livelihood. A lot of fungi were not documented for some reason. A lot of it is just about plant notes and how different herbs and plants affected and were utilized for these communities. And a lot of times the fungi were just loosely noted for some reason.
In these cultures?
Well, not the cultures. The cultures had a wealth of knowledge and understanding of how to utilize fungi in their ecosystems. But the Western people that came to write about it and understand it
Colonizers.
They kind of skipped that chapter.
They skipped fungi in that for some reason. So there's not a whole lot of ethnomycology data in North America specifically. A lot of it comes from California, and how California Native American tribes utilize fungi is probably the most information that we have for North America.
How are the native utilizing it?
So in California, I think they used upwards of 30 different species. Some used it for food, for sure. Medicine, they had an understanding of what it could be utilized for, the medicinal side.
So like the functional side?
Yep,
not the psychoactive or
psychedelic. There is a psychedelic culture for a lot of these communities as well, and they understood that. They would use sometimes as instruments. I know they would use the hard outer leathery shells of puffballs and make like rattlers out of them. Yeah, like maracas for sure. They would use them for utensils for consuming food. Like they would core them out for bowls and stuff like that.
Wow.
The tinder conch was well known to use for starting fires. It can hold an ember burning for weeks at a time. I've
seen that. Yeah.
Yeah. And there's some information about using them for stopping wounds and bleeding, and topicals was a big use too.
It's like a Band-Aid.
Yeah, exactly. They knew how to stop certain bleeding and infections by soaking them in fungi broth, or like using puffball spores. They did, I think there's some information about using it for runny noses, which is interesting. Yeah.
Just take a little puff.
Yeah, exactly. I think they're just clogging it. But yeah, there's, again, rediscovery. There's a wealth of native information that's out there that did get lost over time.
You know, I heard when I was a teenager that if you smoke mushrooms, you go blind. Have you ever heard that?
I haven't heard that one.
Maybe. But does it activate in any sense when you
smoke it,
like vaporize or smoke mushrooms? Does anybody ever do that?
Yeah, they're definitely. I've definitely read some Reddit community people that have experimented in that side of things.
Really?
I don't think anybody's noticed any
effects.
I'd
smoke it for the flavor.
Yeah, I'd have to look and see what the burning point is for psilocybin, but I don't think it can burn to a way you can consume it. Like that. I don't think it'll get in the bloodstream, unfortunately. But not to say that there aren't compounds that can potentially, but I know that it wasn't normally utilized. I read about that for the first time in Carlos Castaneda, Carlos Castaneda, I think. It's a really interesting set of books written about peyote and Native Americans in Mexico. And he wrote like 4 books about it. And it's super interesting, but he talked about some of the shamans burning very specific makeups using like Damiana and devil's weed and a couple other psychotropic scopolamine containing plants, and smoking with mushrooms as well.
Really?
But yeah, I've never tried it myself.
Never tried it.
No.
Maybe we should for the first time.
Well, I mean,
we should dab some mushrooms.
Oh my gosh.
People do use dab equipment for DMT smoking for sure, because you can do a low temp nail and you could really dial in how to burn it for sure. And DMT is psilocybin is a sort of DMT type structure. So there might be a way of
getting it like that, yeah.
Potentially.
DMT in the Puffco?
Yeah.
We could try it.
Would ruin it.
Yep. So if anyone's new to mushrooms out there, would you recommend just like your 4 extracts to just kind of get started with on a
I would say
daily?
Our top selling product is our 4-set.
Our 4-set,
Yeah, 4-set subscription for sure. Because again, the big takeaway that you can take from the complex clinical research on humans.
Consistency.
Consistency is a big part of that.
Yeah, so you guys have a subscription for save a little bit.
One-time purchase too, if you just are like curious.
Just to try it,
But you can also just cancel it. You still get a discount. So it's like,
there you go. That's a good tip.
But yeah, our top selling product is the 4-set for sure. Because when people start reading about it, they're like, okay, I want all of that.
Yeah.
Or if you know exactly what you want support in, you can just focus on that. So if you want to focus on cognitive support, you can focus on lion's mane. If you want to try to up your natural energy and get more out of your workout or your day-to-day, Cordyceps is the way to go. And if you have really stressful interactions in your day-to-day right now and you want to adapt to your environment, reishi is the way to go there. And then for gut health and just overall immune boosting, turkey tail is a great option there as well.
So does it help with digestion, turkey tail?
Yeah, so it's considered to be a prebiotic for the gut, for sure, because it can help set the stage for your gut flora and feed the microbes that you want to inhabit your gut, for sure.
Very cool. So you guys pretty much cover all of the good stuff with these 4.
For sure.
And how long does a bottle last again?
So yeah, that
if you do it daily?
1 month.
1 month.
Yep.
Okay.
So 1 ounce is a 1 month. It's 1 ounce is 30 mils. It's 30 milliliters, 30 days, 1 mil per day on the lowest end. Some people do a 2 ounce bottle in a month because again, the benefits, they're accumulative. So some people, I don't know if this is accurate or not, but they'll take a 2 ounce, 2 month supply and take that in a month to try to build up that accumulative benefit and then dial back to a 1 ounce bottle after that. I don't know necessarily if that'll help you get there quicker, but yeah, the goal is to take it daily and for as long as possible.
And you don't notice the effects right away. You probably give it like a week and then you might be feeling better.
Yeah, I would give it a
being
month.
able to say big words like you.
Yeah.
You have to actively, so that's the big thing too, is it's not a panacea for sure. If your only exercise is Cheeto to mouth, you got to do something else.
It's not working, these mushrooms.
Yeah. If you want better clarity and focus and just cognitive performance, it is a tool and ally to help you get there, but you have to actively be using that muscle to doing things. You have to just do puzzles or like, I don't know what you find interesting. Video games is a great option there.
I love
Legos,
video games.
absolutely.
VR, the new VR stuff, dude. I'm hooked on it. I got Ockneck now. I seriously do. It's all the mini putt. But we play all the homies. It's so great. You should get one. You ever go to the dispensary and spend $60 on an eighth that's been sitting there longer than your grandma's cookies? WNC-CBD.com is shipped fresh straight to your door. No middleman, no mystery climate. Same premium buds, better condition, and you don't even have to put pants on. Go to WNC-CBD.com and use code STASH25 for 25% off of your order. Trust me, you won't regret it. This episode is sponsored by Mood Mats. Man, what a great product they are. They're made from 100% recycled wetsuits. Mood Mats are essentially coasters for your rigs. They keep the mess levels down when you're dealing with sticky, shattery, wax, oils, and concentrates, all of the above. They do a ton of collabs with lots of artists, musicians, all sorts of interesting people. It's a great way to expand your brand. So if you are a small business or an artist interested in expanding your reach, hit them up at moodmats.com or on Instagram at moodmats. Here, pass them all. I can handle it. Ah! Thank you guys for sponsoring the show. Now back to the episode. Okay, well, we'll do a little dab and we'll finish this up. But would you guys like to sample some of this live press rosin we got? Oh, this is from you guys right here, right? Yeah. Okay, here we go.
I'm down to try your
We
stuff.
could try. This is our sponsor of the podcast, WNC CBD.
Nice,
they make really great
do it up.
products, but we have all these flavors: modified grapes, papaya, black velvet.
What would you say is the tastiest?
I haven't tried them all yet. I think I've tried
I've had
the
papaya, not
black
from
velvet.
I haven't had anything from these guys for sure, but
yeah, I've been liking the papaya. That's really good too. You guys, let's see what this looks like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good. Yeah.
Well, we could try whatever you like. I'll try some of this here.
Yeah.
Load these up. Actually, you know what? I'm going to try smoking the Nartar in this.
It would get so goopy. No way.
yeah, it would.
All right, I'll try it.
But glycerin is what's used in a lot of those vape carts.
Oh,
I think.
yeah, that's true.
I think they use glycerin.
Yeah.
Are these cleaned out a little bit?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, 100%.
All right, here you go. You can use this
never-
handy
Never
little.
used this.
Oh, that thing is one of the greatest products.
Where's
The little here's some right here. I'll open this papaya too.
Is it just on?
No, you scoop it and then you push the button to drop it into the so there's like, you know how you get it on the side when you're using a dabber?
Dude, wow. I didn't know it did that. I thought it like heat up or
something. What?
I didn't know.
Yeah, just was that dab too small?
I do.
It's just evaporated.
I think it did, but I got some in there. We're good.
Oh, this stuff looks good too. The papaya.
Ooh, yeah.
Maybe. Well, shout out to Puffco and WNC for sponsoring the pod, keeping us lit over here. And so I heard that are mushrooms like one big organism underneath the ground, like aspen trees? Or is that thing?
Yes and no. There are
they
some.
All share.
There's a complex diversity of species that are interwoven across the entire landscape and arguably under the ocean. Yeah, it's all probably covered in mycelium. Different species, though. Yeah. The largest terrestrial organism on the planet is in Eastern Oregon, Malheur National Forest. And it's a honey mushroom. It's a mycelium mat that's like 200 acres in size. And it's like over 10,000 years old. Which is insane. Yeah, but it's 1 micron thick. The cell wall structure is that's between the inside of the fungus and outside is 1 micron, which we can't even see a micron, but it's able to protect itself from the harsh outside environment by producing interesting chemistry.
That's cool. How is it?
It's good.
Tasty?
Super tasty. Super tasty. You got it over there?
I'm scared.
What?
I don't know.
So do mushrooms communicate with each other somehow?
Probably.
That's what they say.
Yeah.
Like if one's sick on one side of the connection, they can send the...
Yeah, chemical signals and chemical information for sure. They share nutrients. So arguably, like, have you seen like the beetle kill?
Yes.
Right? So if you have one side of that system that's being attacked by these insects, they can send chemical signals downstream to the other trees through the mycelial networks to warn them to start producing compounds to protect themselves from that infection.
Has that happened out here? Oh, wow. I hear the beetles are kind of coming back this season. Have you heard that?
I've seen them.
You've seen them?
Yeah, I mean, I think they're going to be a persistent issue for a while.
Well, like the Japanese beetles?
Not the Japanese, but they're called the pine beetle.
Pine beetle, yeah. So, and people make furniture out of it now. The
interesting.
Wood with all the holes in it. Yeah.
Yeah. You'll see it across the system as the red, the dead tree.
You drive up to the mountains, you see like patches of them everywhere.
Yeah, for sure. So there's Susan Simard. She's a researcher from, I think she's in Washington, Seattle, maybe. But she did the first Nature article in the publication Nature in 1999 about mycelial networks in forest systems. So she's been unpacking that for decades. But she started just bringing awareness to that in the scientific community to understand that there is a complex wood wide web, right? So the internet below your feet in a forest system is complex.
All the roots and everything.
Yeah, and the mycelium is able to interact with the root. So it'll send a chemical signal to the root. The root will open up. The cell wall will separate and allow the mycelium to enter.
Wow.
Yeah.
And then that tree is
connected.
Connected.
Sort of like Avatar, if you will. But so if you think about it, you're out like in the Pacific Northwest. This sat with me really well. I was in a dense canopy forested area, and then I would see this baby maple tree, no access to light, as tall as me. And I'm like, how's it growing? Doesn't it need light? And they're not all deciduous trees, so like there's no leaf fall necessarily year round, and there's no permanent light, but it's being fed nutrients from the mycelial networks.
No way.
So there's a mycelial network that will pick and choose who gets what resource, and it will pull away from older dying trees and give it to the younger ones.
Really?
Yeah. So they're ecosystem engineers. They will really, down to the microbial level, they will control what is there and promote what needs to be there for that system to thrive.
That's amazing. So they can pick and choose what is growing out in the forest.
Absolutely.
They're much smarter.
They're like
than
nature's
engineer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they're helpers too. I mean,
for sure.
Helping that little maple right there. I can visualize that, dude.
No, right?
You painted a nice picture there.
Yeah. Without them, we'd be just nothing would be recycled back into the ecosystem. So complex molecular structures they need to be broken down, and they'll be recycled back into nutrients for this ecosystem, and that's all because of fungi.
Wow. So I heard like aspen trees, it's considered like the world's largest single organism or something under the ground. Did you hear that? Or like even like over
sounds right.
Crested Butte, I think, is one of the biggest patches of it. But is that similar to mushrooms too? Is it one single organism?
There can be one large organism. There are many large organisms for sure. And then there can be really complex systems where there's hundreds of thousands of species that are interacting in a complex way under the soil. For sure. Yeah.
Have you seen those devices where you hook them up to any plant and it plays music?
Yes. Those are so cool.
I heard one hooked up to like mushrooms recently.
It's funky.
Yeah, it was kind of...
There's some people that go out and do that. I think they were in Spain, but they'll hold like big events where they'll have like concerts. Well, they'll have live organisms playing the music.
No way.
And they'll have a lot of like different species of fungi that are playing different parts in it, which is really, really cool.
Oh, that'd be cool to see.
I want to get one of those little machines that you...
I want one too. I tried to buy one, I think, and they were sold out or something like that, right? I don't know what happened.
Probably. They communicate through electrical signals. So it makes sense that they're able to control some of this equipment. And there was a paper published this year, where they connected it to like a mobile computer. And it was able to, utilizing light, move like a spider.
What?
Yeah.
What the heck?
I feel like I saw a little clip of that on Instagram.
That's crazy.
Wow. Yeah. Holy moly. We will see what the future holds.
Yeah.
For sure. I think... a lot of people are just tired and sick of Western medicine not really helping them out.
Man, I know.
Right? So there was
a
Harvard publication, Harvard medical publication that talked about this. But I would say, if you summed up this cause of death for the last 2 decades, it would equal the 3rd or 4th leading cause of death in the United States. And that is taking prescription medications as prescribed by your physician. So we are listening to our medical professionals, and we're killing ourselves by doing this. And I think a lot of people are recognizing that, and they're trying to take health back into their own hands so that they can have some...
I feel like a lot of people are waking up to that.
For sure, 100%.
Yeah.
Because it's just so obvious, man. Like, they put the red dye and all the shit in our foods. It's unnecessary. Like, you go to Europe, it's all, or wherever, it's clean. Even Lucky Charms in Canada, like, their Lucky Charms are different.
Colors,
But hopefully we're changing that now. I think they're trying to ban some of that.
Yeah, for sure.
I found that out early on. So when you are a cultivator, you will sometimes dye your petri dish a certain color for different reasons, for tracking or whatever, and you can use food coloring for that. So I would go to Kroger's or whatever and get the cheap food coloring, and I did all sorts of colors, and I grew turkey tail on it. What I noticed though is the turkey tail broke the color down.
Really?
And the plate was clear. And I was like, so it was like a dark blue or a green or a pink or red. And it, as it grew, it consumed the color to where it just cleaned it up.
So I wonder if it does that in your body with all the stuff. If you eat that, maybe it filters some of that, just whatever. We're eating chemicals every day.
Yeah, it can definitely
5G.
help. Yeah.
No, like the aluminum that they're spraying over here. Like,
oh God.
Dude, I have video of them just doing like cross patterns all the way down here.
Oof.
Perfect lines, not contrails, chemtrails. But
eating that color made me Google what food coloring was made up of. And it's a byproduct of a petrochemical process. And it's like we're putting that in our bodies, and kids are consuming it. It's just gnarly.
Yeah, that's wild. So hopefully we can change that. But did you guys hear about this? I'm a little worried about this, and maybe mushrooms might help people cope with this coming up soon. But did you hear about Atlas, 3-eye Atlas?
No.
It's like this 30-kilometer wide thing, interstellar object that's coming direct for us.
Yes, we were
and we'll be here like Halloween.
I didn't know what it was called though, so
and then it's going to be hiding behind the sun for 2 months afterwards. But like, it's kind of strange. People think that is aliens because it's not putting off a comet trail.
That's what
it's like a Harvard physicist or something.
Dude, can I bum one of those off you? I actually quit smoking on my birthday, which is last week.
Okay, respect.
So I haven't had a cigarette in like 6 days now.
Woo! That's awesome, dude. What day is your birthday?
It was July 23rd.
Oh, mine's the 21st.
No way. Leo. Or no, Cancer. Yep, that's right. Yep.
You're a Leo, though.
I am. But this is like, I know so many people that have birthdays right around here.
For sure, me too.
I guess the parents were all busy 9 months ago.
No.
I guess.
Like, what was 9 months ago?
But panspermia is a big... Panspermia, right?
Yeah.
So talking about interstellar objects.
Oh, what's panspermia?
So panspermia hypothesis is our planet being seeded by another galaxy.
Okay.
So spores from fungi can survive the vacuum of space.
Yeah.
So arguably they could...
come here.
Planet could be been destroyed, and maybe a spore or spores survived, floated just forever in the universe, and then can land on our planet. And that could have been why life is here.
Could have been.
Everything could have evolved out of fungi. Arguably, they're the oldest fossilized remains found on Earth.
Really?
Yeah. So there's contested stuff, but the stuff that's been accepted is about 1 billion years old. They have fossilized.
So was that like the first thing growing on Earth, you think?
Yeah. So when I graduated in 2016, the argument was plants and land plants being about 500 million years ago. And then now that is doubled to be about 1 billion years ago, and it being mycelium. And it has the same structure it has today 1 billion years ago. And it had to evolve to that point. So there's even like fossilized lava tubes that date back to half of the age of the planet. So arguably, the first things that were here could have been alien fungi, for sure.
Yeah, so mushrooms are aliens, basically.
Basically, yeah.
Yeah. They could be from another planet.
Crazy stuff.
I have some moldavite that is, do you know what moldavite is?
Yeah, dude. Yeah.
That might have been carrying life. Maybe.
It could have.
I don't know.
Interesting.
I've never heard that before. That one's very interesting because all the green glass is compatible with borosilicate.
Oh, nice.
So you can like attach it to it, but not soft glass. So
That's
I feel like it's like actually that piece behind you right there, that guy's holding 2 big chunks of moldavite right there in his hands. Yeah.
Yeah. So borosilicate. Is that what's called?
Yeah, that's like the hard glass, like pipe glass, and then
I'm familiar with the laboratory
Pyrex.
equipment.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Of course. Yeah. So you guys probably use some of it to extract and stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It's amazing glassware. It's very expensive.
Well, it's the thermoshock resistant, so that's probably why you guys use it. Yeah.
Yeah. It can survive crazy temperature swings, a lot of pressure, a lot of vacuum pressure. We have Greta, which is the rotovap.
Oh, yeah.
And it's got condensing coils. But it's insane. I always wondered how they could create that.
Yeah, my buddy Kiva Ford, actually, he's a scientific glassblower at Notre Dame University.
And
we saw some work back there.
He does that all day long, like that's crazy so cool. coily things, and the scientists give him a diagram. They're like, make this.
That's sweet.
Make this glass blower.
That is nuts.
That's cool.
Nice. So yeah, man, I can't wait to see what the future holds for you guys and with everything you're doing. I mean, it's pretty exciting. It's like uncharted territory.
Yeah, dude.
And that's why I got into the space. I like challenges and I like the esoteric side of things, and fungi just checked all the boxes. And I was like, if I'm going to be obsessed with this, I might as well try to make it my day to day. And it happened. So I'm very fortunate.
That's so awesome.
Yeah.
So you guys, what's your the website is Mycolove Farms.
Mycolove.farm.
.farms.
Yeah.
Okay.
.farm singular.
.farm. .com.
No.
.farm.
Just .farm.
Yeah.
That's the com part.
Yeah. Yep. Mycolove.farm.
Oh, that's perfect. They have a glass one too. I should it's .glass.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, so we got that. We have our Instagram, which is at Mycolove Farm, and we have a TikTok now.
TikTok is the same at Mycolove Farm.
At Mycolove Farm. And the IG. You guys are great on IG. Very informative, and I love hearing about that stuff.
Thank you.
That's the goal, yeah.
It's the goal. Yeah, it's one of the biggest, I would say, hurdles in the space is you have all of these myco-nevers, and you want to get them to be the myco-curious, and then to the myco-serious, to the myco-lover.
I love it. Did you coin that yourself?
No, Byron, our head of branding and media marketing, I guess. Yeah.
On your team.
Yeah.
Byron. Oh, that's a great one. You should trademark that.
Yeah.
We just had an intellectual property lawyer on the pod. That's actually dropping next week, and he does that kind of thing. Like I own for my cartoon, I own Sofa Kingdom. Oh, nice. Sofa, no one can use Sofa Kingdom.
Well, I got part of the reference there too. So
what, this?
Isn't the Sofa King was from Aqua Teen Hunger Force?
I never knew that.
Yeah.
No, I was thinking, because the show's called Matt Robertson's So Fucking Dumb, but it's Sofa Kingdom. But
that's amazing.
The trademark was not eligible. It was under a trademark for a long time, and we just kept our eye on it, and then someone dropped it, and I was like, I bought it. And
nice.
Been holding it until I do this next project. But
that's great.
Yeah, we were trying to do Myco Latte as well.
Myco Latte
as a trademark, because we have this is a perfect blend. We're experimenting with making blends, like a 4 blend in one. We don't offer that as a tincture option because I am a purist at heart, and plus I think a lot of it's like marketing washing. You get like out there and you see like this 7, 10. Soda water. You get like 7, 10, 20 blend, and you think you're getting all of that benefit from one little capsule or one dropper. No, you're diluting any one benefit out by how many you put in it. So we don't offer blends for that reason, but when the dosing size is adequate. So when you take like 4 mils of whatever, but we're offering a blend for cafes that we're trying to launch too. So
a latte, I could see those flavors pairing well with like nut and cocoa, cacao, whatever, chocolate.
100%.
Yep, that's super cool. So we have a discount code for any listeners, right?
Yeah.
So if you guys want to try their 4-pack or any of their products, if you put in code STASH25, you're going to get a discount. Yep. So yeah, hopefully I'm going to start the journey with everything right now. And we're going to maybe in 10 months, I'll win a Nobel Prize or something. I don't know, maybe. But I can feel it unlocking with the Nartar already.
Nice.
Yep.
Yeah, we'll have to track the progress for sure and see how it's going. But if
absolutely.
Check out the Instagram if you want to learn anything about what we do and just some general information around functional mushrooms and other applications. Definitely check it out there.
Yeah, your Instagram's great. So I'd recommend everyone following that for sure.
Sweet.
Heck yeah. All right, guys. So we're going to keep in touch with you guys over the next little while and track our progress. And we got a secret surprise coming up on some future episodes too. So we'll be doing that. But code STASH25 if you guys want to try it, mycolove.farm. Thank you guys so much for coming in.
Thank you for having us.
This is great. Yeah. We did a good 2 hours. So I think we got a good one. Yeah.
Nice.
And maybe we'll do an update down the road. Actually, I'd like to come tour your facilities too. And we'll see you down there.
Yep. We'll have to give you a tour. We can go foraging. We can do a bunch of stuff.
Excellent. Yeah, we should do both those things. I got pasties, sorry.
No, it's good.
I'm all out of the water and I just broke my glass. Okay, that was it, guys. All right. Woo! We did it. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Sweet. All right. Thanks for tuning in to the Robertson Stash Podcast, brought to you by WNC CBD. If you want to support us, please hit the like button and subscribe to our YouTube channel. We want to hear from you. So if you have any comments or questions, please feel free to reach out. Hit the website, hit the link. We'll see you next time.